Hello, Gumtown, and today we're here with Montgomery County Sheriff Derrick Cunningham. We're here today to get to know him and talk to him. He's going to talk to us about what's going on with the county and his different initiatives to help fight crime and help the youth. How you doing today, Sheriff?
Doing great. This is great.
All right. Well, thanks for doing the interview. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself and, the events that first led you to running for sheriff.
Well, I was a chief deputy here for the past 16 years under Sheriff D.T. Marshall. And once he decided to retire, I decided that I need to go ahead and run. I just feel that there was so much that I had in place and so much that we had pretty much in the process of doing. I just didn't want to see somebody come in here and change the way that we had this agency in the direction that this agency was going.
Okay, that's good. Now, you were just recently on a panel discussion titled Black Lives Matter, Changing Perceptions and Police Practices. Now, tell us how was the panel discussion and what can be done to change the perceptions that the community has against the police?
And I think you were there too, and as I told them in the beginning when I first started out, this same discussion that we're having here needs to be handled everywhere. Go back to your community, to your county, to your city, to your municipality, and have these same discussions because, as you can see from us sitting in there that day, the majority of the questions came from things that took place in other counties and other municipalities. And so you need to have those same key figures that represent your community at the table talking about that. And but the things that I did say was that we need to be more of a people person. The days of hiring somebody to become a law enforcement officer or corrections officer because they look like Luke Ferringo or somebody, some big person,
right.
Those days are over with. We want the person that's educated. We want the person that can talk. We want the person that can sit there and listen and be able to have a discussion and to find out what's the best solution on handling that problem instead of jail most of the time. And we got to be able to understand that when you're dealing with different people, you got to be able to understand that a lot of times it's not that person's mad. That's just the way that they explain themselves. And a lot of times they are angry about the situation, but they're not mad at you. They're mad at the situation as a whole. And we can't take things personal.
Right.
And, being in law enforcement, just because I put my uniform on every day and I go out and I go to work, it doesn't mean that I'm coming to work to put somebody in jail. It means that I'm coming out to do my job. A lot of that is being visible and being seen. And the same thing that I told them that day is we need to learn to get out of our cars. We got to learn to be able to talk to people that's outside working in the yard.
Right.
Stop, get out and talk. Let these people know that you're human and let them know that they should feel comfortable about telling you about things that are taking place in their community. And I think if you know your community and the community knows you, and that's the area that you ride in, you'll see that how that alone will help cut down on a lot of the allegations. It'll cut down on a lot of the things that you ask somebody to do something, and that person, you may know that person, he's going to do it. It's just, just give him a while. He's going to go ahead and do it. But you'll know that. And you got to know your community, and the community got to know you. And I think if we work together, you'll see a lot of that stuff changing.
Right. So now how can local businesses get involved in this effort about reaching out and getting to the community and fighting crime? How can businesses get involved?
Well, and that's some of the things you see a lot of programs that a lot of agencies have. We have a business watch program.
Okay.
We have a church watch program. We have a community watch program. But a business watch program, they need to know. The businesses need to know what's going on. They need to communicate with each other. They need to be able to communicate with us in law enforcement. And we need to be able to communicate with them by passing on information to them. Something as small as if you got a person that's going around writing bad checks, and we got the description of the person. We know what the person looks like. We know the name that they're given. We need to be able to pass on that information to the business community. And can you imagine if you own a business and you're getting an email from me saying, hey, be on the lookout for this.
Right.
This person is doing this. This person is doing that. If you see this person, just give us a call.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to apprehend a person. You know, get us a description, tell us what they're driving and when they left, and let us handle it. But that's just a way of forming a relationship with the business community. And at the same time, if you're having some good things that are taking place, if you're giving away money markers to be able to check your currency to make sure they're giving you an accurate $20 bill, and you want to give those out, it's a good way to be able to mend that relationship, letting them know, hey, look, ain't everything we do is for sale. Ain't everything we're doing, we're begging for charity. You know, we got to be able to work together to help prevent crime. And if we prevent crime in the business community, it's going to really help the whole community as a whole, because the prices are not going to go up. You don't have to worry about that business talking about closing shop and moving to another area. So we got to be able to work together with the business community, not only business community, like I said, the Church Watch program, being able to pass on information, being able to pass on agencies and things of this nature that the members can benefit from. So we in law enforcement got to be able to reach out and to touch all facets of our community, and we got to find those avenues. And those avenues are with the business community, with the Church Watch, and with the youth program.
That's good. Now, speaking of youth, with school being out, what initiatives do you have in place to combat youth violence and youth crime this summer?
Well, I'm glad you said that. You know, I have I call it a no school out calendar that we do every year. So we do like a youth fishing. We have a youth camp. We have a Deputy Dave's Youth Day, which is a family and friends day. Sort of like a fair. We rent the inflatables. We rent all this stuff, give out free food. We give out prizes. Just about everybody come down and leave there with something. Either it's a bicycle or something, a skateboard, a scooter. We try to make sure that when these kids come, that they know it's all about them. It ain't about us.
Right.
And I don't want law enforcement there in uniforms looking like a law enforcement officer. I want you to be there in a T-shirt and blue jeans and shorts, letting them know, hey, look, I'm part of this community. I live in this community, and I'm part of this community. And so we in law enforcement, we got to reach out to our kids, because let me tell you something. You know, those days with saying sticks and stones may break your bones and words will never hurt you, that has changed. Now you see kids that are committing suicide. Kids are being bullied and bullied into and peer pressured into doing things they know they're not supposed to do, such as committing crimes and things of this nature. You got kids that are bullied so bad that they're stealing money out of their parents' purse. So we got to be able to get those kids, be able to bring them in, and to be able to teach them that it's all right to tell. You know, there's no such thing as a snitch no more. It's all right to tell. You know, if somebody's doing something to you or to your family, it's all right to tell. Because if you tell, at least that person will be exposed, and at least we in law enforcement, we know how to go after or how to get that person without saying, young Billy told me this is what you're doing. You know, if you got a child that's being bullied, it behooves us to watch that child, to culture that child, and know when that child is going different places, so that if he's going to be exposed to those bullies, we need to witness it. We need to run interference without that child saying this. If I see the bully doing something, I need to step in and say, hey, what you just did to him? What are you doing? You know, and it's not like the kids telling, but it's like me witnessing it, and I'm stopping it. I'm putting an end to it. So there's a lot of different training that we put on for parents during the summer months. But our camp is a show and tell summer camp. We taking kids for a whole week. We leave on Monday. We come back that Friday. We're gone for a whole week. Whole week of them putting up their iPhones, their iPods, and all that stuff, and they're with us for a whole week. I mean, a week full of fishing, canoeing, hiking, horseback riding.
That's neat.
I mean, from rope obstacles, team building exercises. I mean, we provide everything. And I'm talking about, this is a totally free camp. We take 100 kids. We rent the YMCA camp for a whole week of just fun. And I don't want it to be a camp where you got one child that's acting so bad that he spoils it for the bunch. And I tell everybody, this is not a disciplinary camp. This is a fun camp. I want the kids that make the good grades, the kids that make some of the bad grades, but they got good behavior.
Right.
They know right from wrong.
Right.
And then we can be able to mend that by bringing them up there, teaching them arts and crafts.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna watch movies, but we're gonna watch movies that we want them to see, and the movies that are based on their age and things of this nature. So there's a lot that we can do to help mentor a child. But when I tell you this is a lifelong effect, when they're up there for a whole week, away from their parents, but it's with just us in law enforcement. My corrections officers, my deputies, and my clerks that work here, we're the chaperones of this camp. And these kids, I'm talking about the food, the snacks, and all the activities. We're the ones that they see working with them. And it's a life-changing experience. And, you know, I got a young lady that came by just last week. She went to the camp with me back when she was 15 years old. Now she's sending her 2 twin daughters this year with me.
Oh, wow.
That are 9.
That's
good.
good.
And the only thing that she's talking about is, she said, Sheriff, I went to the camp back when we were staying in tents, and I enjoyed it back then. And now I couldn't wait till my kids were old enough to be able to go to this camp. So it's a life-changing experience. But if I can put that type of reflection on that one child, can you imagine what it's doing to the others? So, you know, we in law enforcement, it's not all about riding around in the car with blue lights on top and putting on your uniform, strapping on a gun. A lot of times it's about giving back to the community. And the only way that you can give back to the community is giving your time, your efforts, and your talent. And you can't take away from that. And, you know, me, I love to fish. I love the outdoors. So, and that's some of the things I like doing with kids. And that's why we have fishing rodeos. But how many kids know that you can have so much fun by fishing? Not only are you having fun, but if something happened, and that's the only way you can feed your family is by going out catching a fish and cleaning that fish. That's some good eating as well. So we try to encourage them on being involved with the outdoors. It's good exercise. It's just everything's relaxing. It relieves stress, and that's what it's all about. Well, this is what we're trying to show our kids. So there's a lot that's going on here at the sheriff's office in the summertime, and I just want the community to embrace it and participate in it, because the worst thing that you can do to your child is to hold that child back from being able to do something that's positive in life.
Well, that's good. Now, how can Gumptown and the community contact you all to get more information about these summer programs? Well,
they can look at our website at montgomerysheriff.com, or they can give us a call here at the sheriff's office, 832-1339. And ask to speak to me or my administrative assistant, Christy Vasquez, and we'll be glad to get them the applications that they need, or they can come by. We got applications here in the office, and we also have them at the jail. So it's a great opportunity for them to be able to stay informed about what we're doing.
Okay. And one last thing, Sheriff, is there anything else you would like to share with Gumptown?
Well, you know, I had the opportunity of reading the newspaper that you put out the last time, and it's great to be able to see us being able to be spotlighted in Gumptown, because the more media that you put out there, the better off you are in law enforcement, because you want to be involved in all media facets. You don't want to just be involved in the newspaper and your local news affiliates. You want to be involved in every news media outlet that's out there, because you're touching somebody's life, and somebody's going to be able to see these opportunities that we're trying to pass on that they don't see anywhere else, because they just get your paper. So I thank you all for coming to us and allowing us to be able to share what we're doing to the community as a whole.
No problem. All right, there you have a Gumptown, our 101 with Sheriff Derrick Cunningham, Montgomery County, Alabama. You're watching Gumptown TV. Stay connected.